Hello, oui. Welcome to hitting the apex. That didn't work as I wanted it to. But welcome back to hitting the apex here. We've got the French Grand Prix preview today with Moni and Vish. We're going to talk a little bit about the circuit and past history of Le Castellet. This is round 12 of the Drivers' Championship for Formula One. Will Ferrari continue? Will Red Bull start dominating again? Does Mercedes have what it takes to win? We'll talk about all of that plus more here on Hitting the Apex, starting right now. Bonjour,
Salut, salut.
Monsieur and Madame. Right?
I was told we'd be in costume. What is happening?
I'm trying here. Although I'm in an Italian costume, I'm still in costume. Come on now. The only one that's missing is Mon ami Moni. Oh, that sounds good.
I like that one actually.
That works.
Moni, right? It works.
You know, after struggling through several horrible French phrases, you came out well there. I would just quit while you're on top.
I know. Como allez-vous, Moni and Vish? How are you all?
Très bien, très bien.
Très bien.
Oui.
I'm not doing any. This is as French as I'm getting.
You got a damn beret on. Okay.
I know, that's as French as I'm getting.
Come on, Jesus. Why do we have so much fun on this show? It's unbelievable. Welcome to Hitting the Apex, Formula One fans. F1. Listen, we've got obviously, right? It's the French Grand Prix, baby. It's the French GP coming at you from Le Castellet. This is round 12 of the Drivers' Championship Series, whatever you want to call it. It's crunch time.
I believe we call it Formula One.
Yeah.
Whatever. that race thing that we do. This is exciting. It's crunch time. It's getting to it, right? We're a little bit over the halfway point now, and starting to get a little bit tight. But listen, I'm sure that Max and Sergito have something to say about that now. So it's going to be exciting. We'll definitely go over the French Grand Prix. We'll talk a little bit about all the top teams and some of the ones in the back. I mean, Haas is kicking everybody's ass with no upgrades. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but it's exciting to see. Real quick, Moni, we'll go around the horn with you. It's a French Grand Prix. Are you excited?
Yeah, this ever so particular Grand Prix. There's just something I'm going to be entirely honest. This Grand Prix trips me out. Every time. It's a trip. And I don't think I'm alone. I think it's a common feeling in the world that this Grand Prix is definitely very special. Actually, the track, I've actually seen a lot of, all the videos on YouTube and stuff like previews and explainers of the Grand Prix, and everyone is making comments about what the track looks like because it's a trip. And I was listening to this one podcast. And the guy was saying, yeah, it's actually one of the weirdest, most difficult races to watch, from your couch, on your TV, because of how the track is set up with all the blue stripes. And I saw this picture. There's been so many memes. I don't know if you guys have seen them. There's been so many memes about this track. And I'm literally at first, the first look, you're like, what the hell is going on? This is definitely a movie. So, but I'm really excited. This is a really bizarre weekend every year, so I'm really excited for this race.
Vish, I mean, you look incredible today with that beret on, man.
I mean, I got so excited I dressed the part.
I know, unbelievable, man. I love it. Talk to me a little bit about the Grand Prix in France.
Yeah, no, I'll echo what Moni said. When you look at the track, the track layout looks like a normal track, but when you actually look at the track, it's almost like they're putting down traffic cones to make the track out of a parking lot. It is wide open. There's a million different configurations. They paint it the French flag, so it is It's a fun one. And it's very easy to miss a turn, and it looks like visibly, it looks like the track is smooth and it's just tarmac, but actually all those colors are like sandpaper. They're abrasive to slow the car. It's like it's a way to slow the cars down without beaching them in gravel traps. So actually, when they go off and they go over that, it does mess up their tires pretty badly. So
right,
it's kind of interesting to watch there.
Whereas like the gravel pit or all that stuff is not as it doesn't degrade the tires as much as some of this sandpaper per se.
Well, you get stuck in the gravel trap. If you get out, you're generally okay, but you can get stuck there. The reason they've gone away from doing that, and you'll see it at older tracks, but not as many of the newer ones, is It's not as safe because you go from zero to stuck. So you're going fast and you miss the turn, and then you get stuck there. It can be a big shock. So that's where they've gone to these larger runoff areas, which gives more room to maneuver. But the problem with that is then, Formula One's supposed to be like the pinnacle of driving. So if it doesn't really punish going off, if you just have a runoff area where you can just went off, didn't really hurt. So kind of this is a middle ground, not gravel traps, but does penalize the tires. So be interesting to see that, because these are, again, I keep saying this, new tires, new cars. They got to get used to the track. We're going to talk about the weather a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to rain, but it's really hot. So who knows how long the tires are going to hold up. So there's going to be a lot of variables here.
Before we keep going, let's give a shout out to our sponsors there, Vish, because we do appreciate our friends over at U-Brake Will Fix. So U-Brake Will Fix repairs damaged wheels from curb rash, cracks, or bends, all under one roof with in-house powder coating, CNC machining, and polishing. They also offer new custom wheels and tires from your favorite brands, such as Vossen, Forgiato, Fuel Off-Road. They now even offer no credit check financing, up to $5,000 for a new set of wheels. Excuse me. Fast turnaround times on all repairs, and they even provide loaner wheels in many cases. U-Brake Will Fix is your total automotive wheel solution, located in North Miami, right off of Biscayne Boulevard and Northeast 146th Street. Actually, by the way, I forgot to mention, I used to live right by there when I went to Barry University. Anyways, I digress. I'm sorry. Check out some of their great work across all social media, from Instagram to Facebook. It's at U-Brake Wheel Fix, the letter U, Brake Wheel Fix, or online at ubrakewheelfix.com. You can even give them a call, 305-748-0112. That's 305-748-0112, and schedule your appointment today. U-Brake Wheel Fix, changing the way you see wheels.
Yeah. You gotta ask, why was that relevant that you used to live near U-Brake Will Fix?
I don't know. Whatever.
He wanted to flaunt.
I saw the address, and it reminded me of my apartment in North Miami Beach. That's all, man. Jeez. Give me a break, Fish.
I mean, it's hour two of us being on streams together, dude. It starts to wear.
Oh, well, yeah, no kidding. Well, you look at that. Fernie was pushing out a plane this time instead of holding one in, instead of parking one. Well, we thank you, Vish. We thank you. Oh, and he loves the hat too.
It's not a hat; it's a beret.
I'm sorry. Yes. Do not offend Mr. Vishnu today.
So full disclosure, I was thinking, like,
every once in a while, I'm trying.
I was looking to see, like, I was like, am I gonna go all in on this bit and like every week show up with a different one? But then, like, I looked at like what hats they wear in Hungary, and there really isn't one. So
yeah, that's not.
It kind of died in week one, but maybe I'll put a cowboy hat on for Texas or something. I don't
know. Okay, Danny Rick.
Maybe I'll pick one up when we're in Texas, Jess. We'll go get one together.
By the way, it's looking more and more likely like I'm gonna go, but whatever. We'll talk about that after.
Well, we're both definitely in Texas like a month before, so.
Yeah, it's crazy. So let's kind of go over it, right? The French Grand Prix. We'll get us started with the actual grid, the actual track itself. Circuit Paul Ricard is 2 DRS zones. Speed trap in corner, right after corner. I'm sorry, between 7 and 8, between corners 7 and 8. But you've got a nice sharp one in corner 9. That's a tough one right there. Obviously, again, that's probably to slow everything down, like you said, Vish. But it looks like this is a very odd track. Just looking at it, sector 2 to sector 3. Not a lot of. I mean, I don't know. Is this good? Who does this track kind of favor? Right. First Grand Prix 1971, number of laps 53 laps, and the lap record is a minute 32 by Sebastian Vettel, or as Mon ami Moni likes to say, Sebastian Vettel.
Sebastian Vettel.
Sebastian Vettel in 2019. This track is an interesting one, even looking at the actual track, Vish. What are some of the areas of concern and some of the areas where certain teams can excel here?
Yeah, I mean, there's the two DRS zones. So on paper, this is pretty similar to Silverstone. So looking at that, in that it's smooth, a lot of high speed corners. So in theory, it should, and signs one there, and hard to get a gauge on Red Bull's pace there because both Max and Checo had some issues there, but even Leclerc with a damaged car was able to kind of hold his own there. So yeah, you would think Ferrari, maybe Mercedes. Remember, Mercedes showed a lot of pace in Silverstone because one of the things when you get these smoother tracks, less porpoising, so their kind of Achilles heel gets dampened. So they might have an advantage here as well. I think if we're looking at overtaking, it's probably the DRS zone between turn 7 and 8, just because you have it coming out of kind of a sweeping turn, so you can get a decent run off of that. If you look at turn 15 in the other DRS zone, it is a slow turn coming out of there, so it's hard to kind of build up momentum and really be full throttle when you hit the DRS zone. So I would say between 7 and 8, especially with if you can get around the outside there, and then with the left-hander right into a right-hander, you can see basically. Actually, I have control of the screen, so
yeah,
coming down this straight. If you can get like kind of almost even or even a little bit ahead going into turn 8,
right?
On turn 8 you're on the outside, but then you're on the inside on turn 9, so you can kind of make it stick right there and hold it through.
So that's when you can open up the DRS is right there.
Well, you can open up the DRS right here. So what you're going to try and do is get a run out of turn 7. Since this is a relatively straight sweeping corner here,
right?
Which is what I was saying. Unlike this, where you're going to have to really, everyone's going to be slow coming out of here. Yeah. It's hard to get a good run going down this straight. Right. But in the sector 2 straight here, you can get a good run off of turn 6, really sweep through turn 7. And if you can get, I'm assuming the defender will want to take the inside here into turn 8 because if they're on the outside, then you can really get through pretty easily. So they'll block off the inside, but if you can just, stay even going in through turn 8, then out of turn 9, you're on the inside now. So I think this is your overtaking spot right here.
Here's what I'm excited about, Moni, and I kind of want to get your take on this, is the actual start. Like for me, that start is going to be kind of wild. I think that you're going to see a lot of excitement. I don't want to say a lot of crashing or anything like that, but I think you're going to see a lot of excitement because, corner the first corner, and then you've got a little bit of a straight there after corner 2 per se. But like that little section there in sector 1 before you get to turn turn 6, and you kind of got that straightaway after that. That is going to be interesting there, especially in the start. And if there's a lot of traffic there, how do these cars kind of maneuver their way around that? Who does it benefit? It all depends, of course, who's on pole, who's in, I guess, on the in the front as far as how they start. But I think that this gives them an opportunity really to kind of make some moves, and it's going to be very interesting and exciting there. What's your take on that?
No, 100%. I agree. I think it's at least as you say, like in the start, it's gonna get a little crowded. So we're gonna see a lot of action, a lot of trying like overtake. I feel like we're gonna see a little bit of like wheel to wheel action. It kind of reminds me of that point in Austria when like the you guys can remind me because I don't remember exactly, but we had like McLaren, we had like Haas, we had like 5 or 6 of them literally all together, like a little bubble of happy cars trying to overtake each other. So I feel like
bubble of happy cars, unbelievable.
So I feel like that's what we might get right there, and because there's not a lot of corners, like really sharp corners there. So I feel that the drivers are going to take a lot of advantage when they're right there, like right off the start. So I agree with you, Jazz. I feel like it's going to get a little messy, but in a good way, not to worry, okay, but a good way, okay.
I know you posted this earlier, Vish. Uh, oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so we're gonna mention that Vitch in a second, but Gabe the Confused, very abrasive track surface, and offline is like sandpaper. It's a test track, decent garages, and good catering. Southern French cuisine is solid. I love that. I love that. I mean, it went from like the track to like, oh, the food is fantastic. So I love it. I love it. And then he puts also decreasing radius turns are all quite annoying for the drivers. The last two corners set up the lap. Yeah, that's interesting. You mentioned that. I think we can all agree on that. I think this is gonna be an interesting race, and you're going to see. I think you're right, Vish. You're going to see Mercedes and Ferrari excel in this track. That's not to say that Red Bull's not going to be up there with them, of course, right? Like if the reliability is there for all three, you still have to say that Red Bull is going to be very competitive and if not one of the fastest cars. However, we have noticed that Ferrari's been able to be quite a bit faster, at least last a couple weeks ago. So I think it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to see what happens. Real quick, moving on, Le Castellet, round 12, C2 to C4. So this is an interesting choice to me. However, I can see why they're going to go with with the C2 to the C4 as opposed to going C1 to C3. The harder tires, the C4s, and so on and so forth. Any reason that you think Levy and white? What is Levy and white, yellow, and red? Okay, gotcha. Pirelli returns to the French Grand Prix. Yeah. So, any reason why they chose that you can think of, Vish? Why they went C2 to C4? Which one do you think they're going to use more? Is this a one or a two? Is this a one stopper, a two stopper? What do you think?
Well, so that's a good question. I'm not sure. I mean, they obviously explain it and they say this is the right compound and whatever. I'm not so sure they shouldn't have just gone for the three hardest compounds because
C3 to C5, right?
Yeah, because with the heat, I'm wondering if this is gonna if they're just gonna melt these tires.
Good point.
And so last year it was a one stop for everyone but Max, who won with a two stop. If you recall, this is the race where Hamilton was in front. Max had a free pit stop, so he took it, went on to the faster tire, and caught up Hamilton and passed him on a faster tire. So he was essentially able to make up the extra pit stop. Everyone else did a one stop. This year, I mean, on paper, this is a one or a two stop, but if the tires are really wearing, we've seen that quite a bit this year where we're thinking it's one or two stops and ends up being a three stop. Austria was another one where we thought one stop is the play and taking out, signs exploding and everyone going in for the free pit stop. Everyone was going on a two stop, even though coming in, even race day, after doing a sprint race and seeing the tire wear, everyone was like, it's a one stop. But in the actual race, it ends up being a two stop. It's hard to simulate full fuel loads. These are all, again, this is the first time they're using these tires.
New cars, new tires. Right. Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if we see even a three stop.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either, considering the type of downforce that some of these cars are using. For instance, by the way, I wanted to announce that Alex is back in the building. Sexy time with Alex Blair. It's back in the building.
We did one Twitter space.
I know.
And the man has his reputation now.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll do another one just for you, Alex. Forza Ferrari. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because, like I was mentioning, some of the the amount of downforce that a team like Ferrari does use, right, in their vehicle, in their car. Yeah, man. Of course, we can never dictate how many safety cars is going to be, how that plays into what they do with regards to tire degradation and how they manage it. We also don't know who's going to be out in front, if they're going to be able to just kind of cruise. Then that kind of changes everything for everybody else. I mean, there's a lot obviously that plays into it. But all things considered, I think that if in a perfect world, this could be either a one. I would say I would probably venture as far as saying it's going to be a two stopper, just because new tires, new cars. It's a little, and like you said, it's C2 to C4, which you make a good point. They should have maybe gone harder because of the type of track it is. Moni, does this kind of give the advantage to any specific team using these type of tires?
That's a really good question. To be honest with you, I'm a little apprehensive when it comes to the strategy for this Grand Prix. mostly because I'm really wondering if the heat is going to have, I think it's going to be a really important variable as a tire wear for the race, but I wonder how much of an impact it's actually going to make. The heat wave in Europe is pretty massive. Like
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
So I really do wonder how it's going to affect it. So I honestly, I feel like we are at the mercy of these variables that are out of our control. So I really wouldn't feel comfortable like saying that it would specifically give an advantage to a specific team. I don't know.
Yeah, I think some of the more aggressive drivers are going to, obviously degrade their tires more than some of the others, and so on and so forth. So, and then some of the teams use more downforce. It's going to play a big,
and Gabe talked about this in the chat. I talked about this earlier. If you make a mistake and go offline and run over those rumble strips,
then you have to change tires. Yeah,
that's a pit stop right there, because that'll, even if you can still drive on them, they'll wear out more quickly. So the other thing is, overall, Ferrari does seem to be able to run a little bit longer on their tires. Whether or not that equates to a less of a pit stop, or like in Austria, they were able to stay out a lot longer. And that basically let the race play into their hands. So that might be an advantage. They do seem to be a little bit better on the tires. And Mercedes seems to be able to just finish races. They're not fast, but they just seem to finish races.
Baby.
So if it goes crazy, you kind of expect them to find their way to the front, because that's how they're getting points, right? They're 40 seconds off the pace, but on the podium. That's where we've arrived. So, look out for them if this goes crazy, to be able to capitalize on some of that.
Let's talk a little bit about FP1 practice. Free practice 1 starts on Friday at 8 in the morning, baby, on the drive to work. So make sure all of you have your cell phones on top of your steering wheel and watch FP1 as you're. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
It still wouldn't make you anything close to the worst drivers in Miami. So.
This is true. This is a true story. But if you don't want to do that, you can catch it once you get to work, or maybe you're at work already. So go ahead and just put it on your computer screen and make sure the boss is watching with you. FP1, 8 a.m. FP2, which is practice number 2, at 11 a.m. So take an early lunch. And FP3 is on Saturday morning at 7 in the morning, which I will not watch because I will be sleeping. And qualify. The qualifying I will be up in time for. It's at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, which is kind of nice. And then the race is at 9 a.m., which is a reasonable time on Sunday, the 24th. The race starts at 9 a.m. at Le Castellet. Oh, here we go. Here's the weather that we have been mentioning. Heat wave in Europe is going to play a really big part because finally, for the first time in, I don't know, it feels like 3 months, we're probably not going to have any rain in any of the 3 days. So none of this crap about going on inters or wets and then having to switch up and really not understand. No rubber on the grid, and the tires aren't heating up, and yada yada yada. No, it's going to be hot as Hades. So you're talking about 90s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a low of 72. Which
and one thing to point out here is, this is like, we're looking at the weather. The track temperature is always 15, 20 degrees higher. The second thing is, these aren't us. These are Europeans. They can't handle this stuff. So
this is true.
And not just like the human side of it, like Europe's spontaneously catching on fire right now because the land can't handle it. Like, it is. So while we look at those temperatures, like, that's warm, but we play football and stuff in this weather without a problem.
That's a Wednesday. That's a Wednesday. Yeah, we call that Wednesday. Here.
For there, it is like unbelievably hot. And again, the cars aren't designed to really run in that kind of heat. The tires aren't. So all sorts of, if you're, let's say, a fan of a team that has a predilection to have exploding engines, this is not great.
Stop.
I'm not naming names, Jazz, but
you don't have to. Oh, my heart.
That's actually another
broken.
Concern. I don't know.
Well, that's a perfect segue.
I don't know what's gonna happen with that reliability situation over there in the oven in the oven.
No, perfect segue. Drivers to watch. Let's start with you, Mon ami Moni.
Yeah.
Drivers to watch. Who do you got?
Okay. I'm gonna be entirely honest with you. I'm gonna go the basic.
No, please don't lie to us. Make sure you're
The-
honest. Okay.
Okay. I won't lie. I'm gonna go the basic way out of this. I'm gonna be watching Checo, okay? Because it's been a really rough time in his life. Yeah, okay, I get it. It's been a rough time in his life. We all know, and he's spoken a little bit about him. He doesn't want to be like disregarded. He's I'm sorry.
We'll get to it.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
Checo, you were talking about Checo.
Thank you. That he's still very much. I'm sorry. That he's still very much a very strong contender. So I think that I want to see him get in the right headspace, and in order to perform well this weekend, especially during the race, which was not the case, hasn't been the case. It wasn't the case at Austria. So I'm going to be watching him just to see what he's going to be able to accomplish and how well he performs during the weekend.
Yeah, and before we go any further, Sexy Time with Alex Baez gives us an awesome donut, man. We appreciate the donut. I think Fernie should match it at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's just me. I think Tap. I think you need to match the donut, man. We appreciate it. Ferrari needs to assert dominance and get the reliability issues behind. Let's go, baby. Yeah, no, I think that's what everybody is thinking. Honestly, is if Ferrari can kind of put it together and not have their engines explode. Here's another one. I think Red Bull is in trouble in this race if they haven't fixed their tire degradation issues from the last race. Vish, I want you to take that one, but just going back to what Alex says on Ferrari's reliability. Yes, if they get that down, then they're going to be dangerous. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to catch up if anybody's going to be able to keep up with them, considering how fast they were a couple weeks ago. Vish, what do you think about the Red Bull issues with tires and anything else that they're having issues with?
So I will say Checo was not on his game for the qualifying in Austria, but after, wow, dude, go to Fernie to do it.
There it is, Tab with the dono, baby. We appreciate it, brother.
Good God, we're rolling it. What are we gonna do with all this cash?
Alex, he said, I'll see your 10 and raise you another 10. That's what he said to me.
Yes,
yeah. I mean, I feel like you gotta compete now.
Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah. So I will appreciate it, Fernie, and also is one of our kind of big fans on our Kane show. So
yes, he is.
He spends Wednesday nights with us.
I appreciate that.
He
might be a part of the show soon. All right, don't get it twisted.
So Checo struggled in qualifying. Remember, he has lap deleted, but even in Q3, which he was allowed to race in and then had disqualified from that whole bizarre thing with the FIA, he was way off the pace of the front three. But he was all over it in the sprint race. He ate his way through the field all the way up to 5th out of 13th. Remember, Hamilton was in front of him. He passed Hamilton and everyone else and got up to 5th, and then got a great start, passed Russell on the outside, and then, I mean, that wasn't his fault. So yeah. I felt like he got it back together there. So I think if he can, hopefully he has a more consistent weekend. But I thought by the end of the weekend, I mean, you can't do anything if you get hit. And that's what happened to him. And that was after I thought he did a great job in the sprint race. And he was sweeping his way into what would have ended up being 3rd at the worst. And got punted off the track. With that said, Fernie mentioned the wow.
No, mentira.
No. Jack freaking Daniels.
We're gonna be able to afford some Jack Daniels in a second.
With the $10 dono, baby. Jack jumping on board. Red Bull for life. RB is Red Bull. Red Bull for life. At least while Mark Webber is still alive. Hey, man, I'll give you some props for Red Bull there, man. No worries. We appreciate the dono. Another $10 dono from Jack. We appreciate that. Listen, we're gonna do something big for any of our any of our listeners and watchers. We're gonna do something big soon. We promise. We're gonna get the whole squad together.
We're talking about trying to do some kind of a race watch. Obviously, the timing is not necessarily great for those types of things. Yeah, but we'll figure something out.
Brunches. We'll do a brunch.
We'll do Japan at like 2 a.m. or whatever.
Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So we'll do a rave. What you're saying is we're gonna do a rave right after. We're gonna do a watch party at space. That's what we're gonna do.
I mean, Miami is still open at that time. So.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it.
You're joking around, but I think it would be pretty epic to have like space Formula One race watch vlog, Miami. Boom, space. You're watching the race. 2 a.m, and then you just keep going. And I don't know why you guys are joking about this.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It's past my bedtime, but I'll do it, man.
Me too. Me too.
I'll do it. Yeah, right. The other day I texted Vish like at 1 o'clock. Hey, are you awake? And he put yes. I go, well, yeah, obviously, wrote back.
I don't really sleep. However, that Japan weekend, I am actually running a 10K in Miami, so probably should sleep a little bit.
Oh wow, nice. All right. Anyway, I know we digress here. I apologize.
Sorry.
But drivers to watch, Vish.
Okay. Well, just real quick to finish that point off. For any minute go point, Red Bull's tire degradation was an issue that they were trying to see. Can we get? They weren't sure what had happened to it. Obviously, they're not going to come out and tell us later. So if they haven't solved that, obviously Ferrari's got engine reliability issues. So both of those teams kind of have question marks. And like we said, Mercedes, the one thing they do is finish races. And if they have that Silverstone-like pace where they're slower, but not that much slower, and, you have struggling cars in front, there is an opportunity there. So that's what I'm looking at. Can they actually do something other than, be 30 seconds behind and hope Sainz blows up to get to the podium? Like, can they actually press, like in Silverstone when Hamilton was right there with Leclerc and Checo and finished ahead of Leclerc on pace, not because of a fluke or because, oh, look, safety car, and I haven't pitted yet, so I got a free pit stop, like actually on pace, and he was battling them wheel to wheel at the end. So that's who I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Mercedes.
Very cool. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, my drivers to watch. Honestly, like I thought that everybody I think that wears the red was a little heartbroken with Carlos Sainz a couple weeks ago with his engine failure. Had an opportunity to be on the podium, if not be P1. So I was excited to see that, and then obviously it all fell apart after. But if he can continue to drive the way that he's driving and not have any reliability issues, I think that Carlos Sainz is catching a little bit of that wave, and he's rolling right now. And if he can continue to stay consistent and drive well, then I think he's got an opportunity to be on the podium again and possibly win another race. I think that he's driving. I don't want to say he's driving just as well as Leclerc, but maybe he is. I don't know what you guys think about that. But right now, they're pretty even right now as far as how they're performing. I'd like to continue to see that. And I know it's I'm a fan of Ferrari, but I definitely want to see that. And I'll mention another one. I'll throw in Lewis Hamilton. I think Lewis Hamilton, if he, he's obviously driving really well lately. He's another one that's on the roll a little bit as well. I think at this point, everybody kind of sees how much better he is than George Russell. Okay, I think there was a debate earlier, maybe not amongst us, but there was a debate, right? Oh, George Russell continues to be in the top 5, and where the hell is Hamilton? And this, that, and the other. Man, it's Lewis Hamilton all day for Mercedes. Okay, George Russell comes after him. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. So if he can continue to ride the wave that he's been riding and be competitive, whether it's 30 seconds out or not, I still think that he's got the pace to be competitive, especially on a track like this. So for my guys, it's Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton for me.
So just circling back to Jack here and our boy Mark Webber, could have been the champion. Red Bull kind of screwed him. Vettel's first championship, they favored Vettel, and I gotta give our boy. I mean, he gave us $10. We gotta give him.
Yeah, all right.
We gotta pour one out for Mark Webber, the almost champion.
Mark, he was a hell of a driver too. So I mean, it happens. It's racing. Magnussen, my driver to watch. Haas has been looking strong last race. Look, let's mention that really quick, right? I know we wanted to talk about it a little bit later, but let's mention Haas being competitive in the midfield with an engine that has not been upgraded since El Año de Cristo, or ever, period, right? Like, there's been no upgrades on that engine. What's going on with Haas?
Allegedly, they have their only upgrades this season coming in Hungary, which is next week.
Oh, they're winning the race. Forget about it. P1 and P2. Forget about it.
I mean, do you actually? I guess that's another question. Do you actually think there's any upgrade that's going to show up?
If it's gonna, they might not be able to afford the shipping. So I don't know if it'll get there. Oh man, it's gonna be Tap. I think Checo beats Max this weekend. Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, I mean, if they could pay the shipping and handling through FedEx or UPS to get all the upgrades there to Hungary, then they might be competitive. They could win. talk about Checo beats Max this weekend. Yeah, I think he's got. I don't want to say something to prove, but I think he's going to be on his game, and I think you're going to see a little bit of a fire from Checo this weekend. He's a good driver, man. He's a hell of a driver, and I know he's been through some stuff, but I think he'll be all right. So got you. What did Jack say there? Driving. I can't text.
Yeah, so he's not as active in the chat as usual.
Gotcha. Fair enough. We still got love for you.
I mean, good call out, Jack, because our fans are part of the show.
Yeah, I know Gus is in here. He texted me earlier that Gus was going to be on the show. Maybe he's still in or not. But if he is, and he hasn't donated $10, then we're probably not going to be friends anymore after this.
Wow, just pressure.
Yeah, we're cutting off best friends now. We're just cutting them off if they don't donate to the shows. All right, so I don't know if he's on, but if he is, I love you, Gus. I'm just kidding. Anyways, moving on. I mean, do we want to get into teams? We kind of mentioned that already, right? Ferrari, Mercedes, Haas. Haas are going to be the champ. They're going to win it all in a couple of years. They're going to take the constructors if their upgrades get there on time.
Maybe an Indy car.
Yeah, an Indy car. Oh man. So speaking of that, right? So speaking of winning, let's go back to Mercedes, man. I mean, look, you mentioned it a little bit before, Vish. Can Mercedes win? Can any Mercedes car win here at the French Grand Prix?
So the reason this is coming up is because it came from two places. One is if you look at kind of the track analysis, it does mirror Silverstone quite a bit, and Mercedes was strong there. The second one is Christian Horner flatly. It kind of was like they're going to be strong here. So and you know how much he loves complimenting Mercedes. So there is a chance there's like legitimate pace in that car this weekend. It still feels like they're probably too far away unless they get some kind of luck. I think what is happening is the luck component is lessened. It could be a slow pit stop being enough, right? Versus, a few races ago, it would have taken a 4-car pileup of all the Red Bulls and Ferraris at the front for them to win. Now it's, they're closer. If you recall, they chose not to do like the extra pit stop, and so the gap in Austria was significant from Hamilton to Max in second, but they didn't do the extra pit stop when Sainz's car exploded, and that meant that they were nursing the tires home and all that stuff. So they ended up being a safer but slower strategy. So they probably weren't that far behind the Red Bull and Ferrari, although there's still a gap there. But can they win? I think Hamilton might be able to. I don't think Russell can, because it's not just the car; it's the driver.
Right. Well, and we've seen that Russell without the luck has been pedestrian, right, as a driver right now. So
well, I mean, he's come back down to. He's made mistakes the last two races. I mean, everyone justifiably focused on Zhou's big crash, whether he was all right or anything. Russell caused that. By first of all, whoever's choice. I mean, you're talking actually kind of 3 races in a row. Like if you recall Canada, that decision to try and go out there on slicks when it was pouring, and then he spun the car in qualifying and started like. Now, to me, that's 75% of the team. I don't care if the driver says he wants to go on slicks. You put him out there on wet tires anyway. Right? Like, what are you doing? You don't just let the tire. Oh, yeah, I'll go on slicks, and of course he spun it. Because there was standing water all over the track. Like, what are you doing? There's that. Silverstone, he did cause that crash. Now, whoever decided to start him on hards, again, that was a mistake. But knowing that he was on a slower tire, especially, everyone knows you can't get heat into those tires. For him to then get passed by the Williams, Latifi swung past him, and then him to just try and shut the door on Gasly. He caused that accident. Like, I don't know what he was doing. If you're going to start on hard tires, cars are going to go past you at the beginning. You got to wait for the track to come to you. So him trying to hold off Gasly or whatever he was doing, he caused that accident. And then, of course, in on Austria, he knocked Checo out. So he's got a little bit of like the mid-season, the sophomore slump thing happening. I don't think he's, frankly, as inconsistent or bad as he's been in the last few weeks. He's probably, I think those positions at the beginning of the year flattered him. He's probably somewhere in the middle. He's still learning. I mean, if you recall a couple of years ago when he filled in for Hamilton when Hamilton had COVID, he should have won that race in Bahrain, and Mercedes screwed up and put Bottas's tires on his car, so he had to pit twice. He got like a bunch of penalties, or he was in control. He was whipping Bottas in a car he'd never driven before. So there's definitely talent there.
Right.
But I think in order to win in this car, you got to be, you got to outdrive the performance without essentially risking binning the car. And I don't think he's at that level yet. He's young, so he might get there eventually. But if someone's going to win a race, it feels like it has to be Hamilton.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Before we kind of move on into another, well, I guess we can talk about
Does Moni have thoughts on that? Or is it just me?
Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to get. Well, no, I kind of wanted to get her take. No, Moni, you don't.
No. Keep going. Vish, dale, sigue.
No. I was gonna get to that. I just wanted to kind of look at something else here with regards to what Horner said, that he expects Mercedes to be, better in this race. Do you think that that's just Horner doing what he does best, which is kind of downplaying maybe the struggles? Hey, there he is! There he is! There he is! Anything to save our friendship. $15 dono. Step up your game, Tap and Jack and Alex. Step up your game, bro. Go Red Bull. It seems like the Red Bull guys are balling today, huh? Damn.
That's what they got that championship money and they're throwing it in here.
That's what I'm talking about. Gus. Big shout out to Gus. I love him. He's one of my brothers. Yeah, Tap. I mean, y'all gotta step up your game now, sons. That's it. Red Bull fans unite. Look at Jack. Red Bull fans unite. Y'all better unite by anteing it up to $5 extra. Shoot. Look at me trying to push this over here. No, I love you guys, man. We appreciate all the donos, honestly. Thank you so much, Gus. Red Bull all day. I don't know if I can get back behind that, but it's all right. Now I can't eat lunch for the rest of the week.
What did you do, Jazz? You're starving the people.
Oh no! What did I do? Listen, lunch will be on me, bro. Lunch will be on me, Gus. I got you, man. Now that I have $15,
I mean, you got so much money.
Oh! The force is strong with you, my friend. The force is strong with you, my friend. Alex, baby, with the big dono, $20. Forza Ferrari.
The only thing left is for someone from Haas to come in and try and steal the money out.
I was gonna say Haas can't afford it. No Haas fan can afford it.
Haas needs it.
Yeah, right. All the proceeds go to Haas. All your donos are going to Haas for their upgrades.
It's like a telethon for Haas. They can't afford their upgrades.
We're paying shipping. This is a shipping cost for Haas. Thank you so much, Al. We appreciate the dono, man. Big shout out to you. Awesome. We appreciate the love. I don't even want to talk about Mercedes anymore. It's not, no, but kind of getting back to it real quick. Is this kind of Horner's, way of playing mind games and being like, well, we're kind of struggling, so we're going to take we're struggling with the degradation or with the reliability, and we want to take kind of like the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank here because we have so much money now. We're rich. Drawing attention away from Red Bull because of what's going on. We need some hitting the Apex.
There is hitting the Apex merch. Don't we have T-shirts?
We do. And Ethan hit me up about them. I got to pick them up. Yeah, we'll definitely.
But we're selling them, right? They're for sale.
Yeah. Hold
on, I'll drop the link in the chat. Moni, go ahead and talk about Christian Horner being a dick.
If you can find it there. Yeah. Good idea. Talk to us, Moni.
Psicología inversa. That's what it's called. Psicología inversa. Reverse psychology?
Yeah, no, we can talk in Spanish. This is an international show.
No, I understand, but maybe
Yeah.
our huge audience. What if someone is not bilingual?
We got a Nika, a Cuban, who I don't know what Bajer is, but what Alex is, but we got a Nika and a Cuban in here for sure. Jack Daniels, God knows what he is. But we got them all around here, so we're good. We're good.
No, I definitely think, I everyone knows Horner, no? It's like I feel like you can't really expect anything different coming from him, anything less. And it's not necessarily coming with like bad intentions or anything. I don't think that's necessarily the case. But I definitely don't. I'm not surprised that he kind of made that comment. Like psicología inversa to me.
Okay, fair enough. But by the way, first of all, I need to address this. What Alex says. He says, I'm Colombian, Italian, German, and Polish. Well, here's the thing. Are you talking? I mean, here's the thing. Are you saying because one side is your dad like Colombian and his parents are Italian? Is your mom German and her parents are Polish? Because you can only really be two things, right? Like you can only be like, if your dad's Colombian and your mom's Italian, then you're Colombian Italian, right? Like, so how does this whole yes, 2 and 2? Okay, I get it. But in essence, you're really two of those, right? So you're probably like you're Italian. I'm gonna go with Italian German. I'm just gonna throw those two because you're a Ferrari fan. So we'll just go Italian German. I don't really know if that's true, but there's the merch. I'm going off on a tangent here. There's the merch, Jack, and for anybody else that wants to purchase the Hitting the Apex racing shirt, it's on. This is why I'm on the show, to talk crap. Okay.
Yes.
Means he's late to the pizza party because he had a few too many drinks, is what he meant to say. I like that, Jack. I like that. Yeah, pretty much. And that's okay, man. Colombian, Italian, and German, Polish. So we're going to keep going with that. Anyways, moving along.
So I just to
please
sort
help.
of go on
you
topic.
You are the co-host here, Vish. Come on.
So first of all, I think Alex pretty clearly demonstrates a quarter each. I don't know why you're trying to reduce them down to half that, but anyway, that's one thing. The other thing is just to go back to what Moni said.
50% is better than 25%.
There's always something going on with Christian Horner when he's making comments. With that said, I don't even think they give a crap about Mercedes right now. Mercedes is in their rear view, so I don't know what he's getting at there, if he actually believes they'll show pace or if he's just I honestly have absolutely no idea what his angle is. If he was messing with Ferrari, it would make more sense.
But he's a prick. He always likes to do dumb crap like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
He always wants to mess with Toto, right? I think at the end of the day, he wants to mess with Toto, and that's how he is.
Yeah, no, that could definitely be an angle. Just they have pace, and then when they finish 30 seconds off, well, raise the expectations for him, knowing they're going to flop.
Right.
See that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I get it. All right. Fair enough. Ferrari's brought some upgrades recently with their wing, right? Their wing has been the biggest difference we've noticed. It's, we've always talked about how slow to medium corners, Ferrari excels, whereas Red Bull was, in the straights, being, that's where they were making up the ground or being able to separate themselves. Now it's a little bit different, right? Now Ferrari's kind of figured out how to be able to excel in those straights as well, while still maintaining that downforce in the corners and being able to still be very quick around the corners. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting. They brought the upgrade first in Canada. It took them a few races to work it out. Now in Austria, they were Red Bull is still quicker on the straights, but they were right there. Whereas earlier in the year, it wasn't even close. And interestingly enough, after the race, everyone like gets pictures of because obviously they don't release specs of the wings, and you start looking at it, and they had actually given, if you recall, Canada is the race where Leclerc had all the penalties and started last, or actually next to last, because I forget someone else took more penalties than he did, or whatever it was. And Sainz still had the slow rear wing. The rear wing is where they were able to make up the speed gap. And remember the end of that race where he was right on Max and just quite didn't have the pace to pass him. You kind of wonder if he had the better wing, if he would have passed him, because Leclerc didn't really do a great job of working through the field, which is why I think they gave him the upgrade. But then you saw in Silverstone they did have the pace on the straights, and again Austria. So they've closed that gap, and the reason we want to talk about that is, we were talking after Austria, like, is Ferrari actually faster now? Because it had been, this is a Ferrari track, this is a Red Bull track, and then the last couple of races they've been pretty far out, and like in Austria especially, it was like Red Bull had no answer for that.
Very noticeable.
Well, I know during the race we were talking about, is this the right strategy or not? It turns out they could have 1 stop, 2 stop, 3 stops. It didn't matter. They were that much faster. Whatever strategy they went out with was going to work. And, they obviously lost the 1-2 when Sainz exploded. So the question is, if they've closed that gap in the straight line speed, because that's where they were losing it, right, then do these higher speed tracks not become Red Bull tracks? Because that's what they were. So France is a high speed track, so we'll see how Ferrari does there. But if they actually are quicker again, it could be, because Red Bull won 6 races in a row. The pendulum swings the other way. There's only a 38-point gap, and you can eat that up pretty quickly if you win a bunch of races in a row. So that's kind of the big storyline for me. Is I expect Red Bull to be faster in the speed trap, but how close is it? And then in race trim, that's completely different. We saw last week, Red Bull was faster qualifying, faster in the sprint race, but when it got to race distance, they were way slower. So that's kind of, that's the thing to watch with Ferrari is just seem to find they've gotten that balance right, where they can be faster in the corners, but also not lose it in the straights. So see if that continues.
Well, you got any takes on is Ferrari faster right now than Red Bull?
I'm a little scared to answer this question.
She wants to say it, but she doesn't want to say it. It's the Red Bull in her. The Red Bull in her is coming out.
No. I just don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay?
I know. I feel you.
I don't want to get ahead of myself. But guys, let's be good Formula One fans, okay? Forget about the teams. Let's appreciate the sport, okay? Let's appreciate the cars, okay? I think Ferrari has been a little faster than Red Bull, yes. And it's obvious, okay? And it's not that deep. But whether Horner is being all weird in reverse psychology, weird situation, I think that is something that Red Bull has to watch. But I do think that Red Bull has been a little faster.
You mean Ferrari?
But that doesn't mean,
You mean
I don't
that Ferrari?
They're gonna pick it back up. I'm not saying that. It's painful, okay? But I'm sorry, you just have to be straight up about it.
It hurts. I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Although I do think Ferrari is faster right now, I think Red Bull's gonna have something to say. They're gonna work some things out. It's gonna get closer again.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be back and forth the rest of the season. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Vish, let's get some predictions. Yeah, you good with that?
You're the boss.
I think we should get some predictions then. By the way, everybody in the comments, everybody in the chat, Alex, Jack, Fern, Gus, all of you, give us your predictions as well. We definitely want to hear from you on what you guys think about this.
Well, I guess while we transition to that, one thing real quick to look out for, you haven't talked a lot about, is the constructors. And while everyone focused on the top 3, the midfield is tightening up. McLaren and Alpine are tied now. And then, I can't believe we're saying this, but Haas is closing that gap up to Alfa Romeo pretty quickly for 6th. It's down to 17, which again, across 2 drivers is not a lot.
Well, Bottas has been struggling a little bit, right? He hasn't been driving his best. Zhou Guanyu has had. I mean, obviously he
just had a lot of random issues. Obviously, the accident, but not just that. Like a lot of engine problems,
right.
But yeah, and Haas is ahead, has moved ahead of AlphaTauri as well. So they're kind of something to watch. If they have another strong finish, you'll pull up the constructor standing. It's on Sunday. You might see them surprisingly high.
Yeah.
So a couple of things to watch. We don't spend a lot of time in the midfield, but I wanted to at least pay some mention to the fact that it's really tight there.
But like you said, if Haas does really well again, we're gonna have to talk a little bit about them because they still don't have any upgrades and they're still being competitive. So
And again, Alpine and McLaren are now tied
Right.
for fourth, and Alpine appears to be the quicker car at this point. So
You know,
interesting times.
I wonder if some sort of watch party for one of these races, whether it's early. I know it's early. I get it. I know 10 o'clock is early for people to go out and do something on a Sunday, but I wonder if we can get, at least a couple people, right? Like 10 of our favorite fans, and we can bring them out and do something. We'll definitely try to work something out for.
Well, apparently they're buying, so when...
Yeah, I mean, listen. This is all for Haas. This is for the cause. And we've got, by the way, speaking of that, I know we were going to talk about it on the King Show. We didn't, but we've got some stuff that I definitely want to bring to the table, work on in the future as well. We'll get into it a little bit later. We've got a couple of things to work out on the back end before we announce anything, but hopefully we can make it work. It's something that's near and dear to me and to a lot of people all over the world. So we'll definitely talk about that. But
so we got some predictions in the chat.
We got some, yeah.
So we go. Fernie's got Leclerc, Checo, Max, and his surprise is Latifi in the points.
Leclerc, Checo, and Max, and Latifi in the points. Jesus Christ. That airport's getting to you over there, man. The points.
And then Alex has Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Alonso is his top 5. We just record the top 3, so Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, and then surprises Max DNF.
Max DNF. That's gonna suck.
Will it?
For him. It's gonna suck for him. It's stuck for him. God, let me finish. Vish, what do you got?
I'll go with. All right, I'm gonna. Hopefully, I'm not stealing Moni's, but I'll go Checo to win.
Oh wow! All right.
And then Leclerc and Sainz, and all right, I'm gonna go. This one's definitely not gonna happen, but that's the point of this pick. I'll go both Mercedes DNF.
Both Mercedes DNF. That's rough.
After they basically finish every single race, so yeah. I'm going the other way.
Moni, what do you got?
Okay.
Moni was really offended by that both Mercedes DNF.
No, I just didn't see it coming. No.
That's the point of the surprise pick.
Hold on, Moni. Gus has his now. Leclerc, Max. And who? And Checo,
and then Sainz and Hamilton. Gus, you got a surprise?
Yeah, give us a surprise, like your sleeper pick of what you think is going to happen. Give us that. In the meantime, go ahead, Moni.
Okay, so I'm gonna. This is crazy. Okay, listen. Okay, obviously we know that I don't have like the hottest streak for predictions. Okay, and I think the world knows. So that's fine. That's why I take the liberty to be. Yeah, I'm obviously not Jazz. Okay, so I'm liberty and just go bizarre.
All right, do it.
That's my hobby, obviously. So I have Hamilton P1.
Okay.
See. You see, Vish? Yeah, exactly. Next, number 2, I have Checo.
Okay.
And number 3, I have Leclerc.
All right.
And then my surprise.
If some of the old hosts were here to hear you say this, continue.
TBT. Well, no, actually, way back Wednesday, because today's Wednesday. Okay. And then my surprise is gonna be I'm gonna have to go with a Sainz DNF.
Right. I don't know if that's so much of a surprise. Well, he's been.
I really don't expect him to DNF.
All right.
I mean, he's DNF he beat shit how many times and his engine's blown up?
Okay. Can I change my surprise?
I think you can still. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll give you the option because that's just too easy.
Okay, whatever. Okay, let me think about it. Because let me give you 2 minutes.
Well, while you think about that,
yeah. So Gus came through with Mick top 10 as his. So he's going with the hot streak continuing.
I like it. I'll take that one.
Okay, Moni. Here's what you can do. You can first of all you can leave it because most of the races he does finish. We just make fun of him, so it's not like it's in the. But you can also say like the reason he DNS is the engine blow up. Does it get into a crash?
Yeah, that would
Like,
be
Okay.
what is the nature of DNF?
Perfect. Uy. I don't know actually.
Well, Alex, you're rooting for Mick. I think we all are.
Guys, I don't know.
That's fine. Science DNF.
Yeah, Science DNF is fine.
Okay, let me think about it. Let me go. 2 more minutes.
All right, I'm gonna go. This is not what I want to happen, but obviously because I'm a fan. But I'm gonna say Max P1, Leclerc P2, and Science P3. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that, and I'm going to say that. Okay, you want a big surprise? Checo with another DNF.
Great. That's just great. Thank you. And I think what if my surprise is that his engine is going to blow up again because the heat is just so bad the car can't take it.
Okay. Engine failure. All right.
Yeah.
No one went with Ricardo. Looks like he knows how to drive a car.
Oh man, I know. I was tempted to pick one of the McLarens.
I mean,
I was gonna put K Mag. I was gonna put Mags in the top 7, but I think Checo DNF would be more of a surprise.
I considered Ricardo qualified ahead of Norris, but I left it alone.
Yeah, it's tough. Look, I obviously want to see the Ferraris, continue to streak and be competitive. I think Max is going to battle this weekend. I think both Red Bulls are going to battle this weekend. Honestly, I can see either of them winning. So we'll see. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I just picked. It's a realistic pick. I didn't want to go with a fanboy pick. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do that. So, although I still put, Leclerc and Sainz P2 and P3. You stop it, Vish. Ricardo in the top 20 for sure.
That's what I was laughing at. Not what you were saying.
Oh, okay. Good. And that's that. Make sure you tune in. We will be live tweeting for some of practice, hopefully, some of qualifying as well, and for the race live, we will have the post-race show.
So I guess much like the rest of you, we also have actual jobs. So practices that are on Fridays are sometimes difficult, and then the 7 a.m. for FP3 is difficult for other reasons. But definitely, I think qualifying and the race will be tweeting during, and then we'll go live right after the race. So
yeah, absolutely.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for the post-race show. That's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully, Moni is not chasing down any presidents, and she is doing all right on Sunday.
I don't want to be chasing nobody down. I just want to be on my couch on a Sunday morning.
Well, let's hope you get to do that. You get to fulfill your dreams.
On your couch, watching Checo win, because I never miss a prediction. So
yeah, you never do. You're always on that.
Checo is literally going to win just because of Vish, and I will not have this conversation with anyone else.
Okay, all right. I will be watching Friday's practice.
Just don't review my previous predictions, because you're not going to have that confidence if you don't.
No, I know. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just focus on this one.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at F1_5 Reasons. Check us out here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. The show is hitting the apex. Make sure you subscribe and smash the like button. We do appreciate all the donations, and we really are excited to continue to bring you this content. Make sure you smash that like button though, so we can definitely get you some more content and some better content. Also, it turns into a podcast, so you guys can listen to the podcast just as Jack did in his car. You can make sure you check out the podcast on your way to work if you missed it, or if you want to hear anything back. Again, Wednesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Twitter at F1_5 Reasons. And make sure you subscribe to the 5 Reasons Sports. 5 Reasons Sports. Yes, we will. We promise we will. 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you guys again, Alex, Tap, Jack, Gus, and some other people that I'm sure were on that didn't want to make donations because they're Haas fans. We love you guys. Moni, Vish, you guys were great. And can't wait to do the post-race show. We'll definitely catch you. Make sure you follow us on Twitter for all the latest updates. See you guys later.